You get the feeling you're not alone. Something really eerie about this place first thing in the morning. Just you and the wildlife waking up. Look at the foxgloves. Gorgeous, aren't they? Hey? Fields of them. Fields of them. Areas of them. Everywhere. Absolutely gorgeous. Pinks, pastel pinks, mauves. Just catching the first light. So I've come to do what I promised to do. Promised myself to do, really. Which is to give these vintage lenses a test. I thought these foxgloves would make quite a good subject for these lenses. See how different they are, really, I guess, from my Sigma lens. So I've got a Sigma 24-70 F2.8, the art lens for the Sony, and I really like it. It's a really sharp lens. And yeah, it'd just be interesting to see what the difference will be using that lens for a similar shot and using the two vintage lenses. I've got 100mm triplan lens and the Carl Zeiss Xena lens, I think. I can't remember what they are. Paul gave them to me. Paul Benz, do you remember? Video a couple of times ago. A couple of releases ago. Yeah. My good friend Paul lent me these lenses, and I've not had a chance to have a play with them yet. So let's have a play with them. That's a deer. Barking deer. Not very far away at all. I can see him. And he's seen me as well. Morning. Not sure why they bark, whether it's just to let others know that there's safety or danger. It's a lovely brown colour, fawn colour. I'll try and get some footage, hang on. So I think this is a nice little test for the lens here. I found a couple of foxgloves that I quite like the shape of. The one on the right is sort of just curved around at the top. It's just a little bit different. Now at the moment they're not catching any light, and I think that's the key for these lenses, is to make use of the bokeh with the light in the background. So I've fired off just a few test shots just to see what they look like at the moment. And the light is actually quite nice because it's just quite soft and diffused at the moment. As soon as the light starts coming through the trees there, it's going to get quite harsh because it's probably getting on for 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning now. And when I say harsh, not that harsh, but it's going to really show some highlights and hot spots on the flowers. But I've taken the first few test shots on this trioplan lens. This is the 100mm trioplan lens. 3 optics in this lens, which really help with the bokeh, apparently. Don't ask me why. I'm no expert at all on these vintage lenses. In fact, I was introduced into photography in the DSLR world, not the SLR world. So this is all new to me. But it's good fun, if I'm honest. It's good fun playing. And what I'm finding quite sort of refreshing, really, is everything's manual. Obviously, you know, setting the lens is all manual with the aperture and the focus and just everything. It's just nice to just take full control. Clearly there's no autofocus on these lenses at all. But yeah, it's just really interesting to have a play with them. So I'm gonna just wait for hopefully a little bit of light to hit this Foxglove or Foxgloves. I shall take it with this lens, then I'll try the other lens, and then I'll go back to my Sigma lens and I'll just compare them and see what they look like. So yeah, let's have a go. Right, so I've taken the shot with my Sigma 2.8 and I've taken it with that 100mm trioplan lens. I did try the Carl Zeiss lens, but I didn't get on with it, if I'm honest. I don't know why, just maybe I don't really know how to use it properly, but didn't really get on with it. But I really like the trioplan lens. That's lovely, actually. It's really nice, smooth action, and it gives some really nice smooth tones in the back of the camera. So I'll put these 2 shots up now, and I'll label which one is which, the trioplan lens and the Sigma lens. There's a difference in bokeh, obviously. I've tried to get the sharpness as you know, crisp as I can on both of them, in terms of just really focusing right in, zooming right in and get that sharp focus. So hopefully focus will be okay on both. So yeah, it'll just be interesting comparison to look at the tones, colours and the bokeh really between the 2 shots. So yeah, here we go, and leave a note down in comments which one you prefer. Right, so rather than just put a couple of titles on the bottom of each of these pictures, as I said I was going to do in the video, I've decided to jump into Lightroom and just to show you a couple of pictures and just to talk you through some of the thoughts I've got now I've seen them on the big screen and I can see them a bit closer. I don't think overall I got any fantastic shots, if I'm honest. I got a couple of shots I'm going to show you here. I couldn't really find the compositions I was looking for. The light was a little bit too harsh. I know that sounds like an excuse, but yeah, I just didn't come away with anything I was that happy with. But I'll talk you through a couple that I did, because there are a few interesting things that I've noticed from a comparison between the Sigma lens and the trioplan lens. You know, and this lens is a great little lens and I really enjoyed using it, and I'd love to go out and use it a few more times as well. I'm conscious it's not my lens and I'm borrowing it, of course, but yeah, I just love the simplicity of it. Yeah, everything's manual, and it produces some interesting results. So let's just log into Lightroom and just have a look at a couple of shots and I'll talk you through my thoughts. So this was the one that you saw me taking in the field. You know, the composition's okay. You know, I quite like this, the Foxglove here on the right hand side that was just sort of bending over. This is the trioplan shot. Now you'll see if you look at the bokeh at the top, it's quite nice, but the image itself is quite soft. Now I'll come on to that with another image I'm going to show you. I don't actually mind that, and I think when you're taking this subject, you know, flowers, wildflowers, etc., you know, softness it just adds to the picture really. I don't think things need to be necessarily too sharp. Now, you know, one of the reasons why it's probably a little bit softer than it could be is because my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. I'm wearing glasses, as you see, and I had to, as I say, manually focus this shot in, so it's probably not as sharp as it could be in that respect. So this is the Trioplan version, as I said. Now I took the version with the Sigma. You'll notice that there's no light on these, so that's the big difference between the two shots. And obviously the Sigma is a 70 lens, the maximum focal range is 24 to 70. This is a 100mm lens, the Trioplan, so I'm going to get different focal length composition. The two differences that I saw were, if you look closely, the focus on this Sigma is just brilliant. It's really sharp, you know, really happy with the sharpness of the shot. And the bokeh is actually not that bad. It's quite nice and soft. You know, you could argue there's that area there which is a little bit too bright. And you know, I wouldn't probably publish this shot because of the fact there's no light and that bright spot. But just looking at it from the point of view of the sharpness of it, you know, it's great. I'm really happy with that. If we go back to the Trioplan version, as I say, the sharpness on this is not there. Could well be because I didn't manually focus correctly. It's still sharp enough, but I do prefer the softness of this image, and also I do prefer the bokeh in this shot as well. So I think out of the two shots, definitely I prefer the Trioplan on this one, but it could well be because there was a bit of light on this and not on the other one. If we flick across to another cropped shot that I took of a shot, and again there's no light on this. This one is with the Sigma at F2.8, and again, you know, I've got some sharpness here that I'm really happy with. You know, we're in there. We're sharp at 2.8 as best you could be, and again the bokeh is quite nice and soft. Nothing of any interest, but it's good enough, and yeah, it's a nice sharp shot. But if we flick across here to the Trioplan version of the same shot, now I know it's a different focal length, so it's not a direct comparison, but look at the bokeh on this. Gorgeous. I really like this. Really nice. And the softness again I'm getting with this, I think just fits the mood of the image. You know, that the subject is a flower or a plant that, you know, lends itself nicely to having a soft edge to it. It doesn't need to be clinically sharp at all. So I actually quite like this shot, purely because of the softness that the lens gives, and also this gorgeous bokeh. So yeah, out of the two, this one definitely wins on the Trioplan versus the Sigma with this particular composition. Now, as I said, it's not, you know, neither shot are great, if I'm honest. I just took them to compare between the Sigma and the Trioplan, and just to compare and show you guys what the difference is with a vintage lens versus the latest Sigma lens, really. So I think in summary, I definitely prefer the Trioplan lens for this subject of plants and flowers. You know, it just gives that softness to it. The bokeh is really nice, and you don't need, you know, really pin sharp images for these type of subjects. I'm sure there's plenty of other lenses out there that will do a much better job, but just with the ones I've got and I was playing around with it the day, and out of the two, yeah, for me the Trioplan wins hands down on these particular subjects, and I really enjoyed it. Now, what I have learned is that I think to get a better result from this lens, I need to be looking at using the light in the background. I think the key here is to focus on a subject in the foreground and make sure you've got some light or specular light, even better, in the background, which will really help that bokeh and help enhance the shot. I couldn't really find what I was looking for on the day, so I might go out and have another play with it. But yeah, overall, loved the lens. Loved playing with it and looking at these images back in Lightroom, and I should definitely be using it again as long as Paul lets me. So thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, then give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I'll be out again pretty soon, so I'll see you on the next one. See you soon.